Well, thank you for that, and I would love to meet you and to go to support you. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah. I'll let you know once the time comes.
Okay. Wow. I think we only have like a small amount of people signed up today. But if you haven't noticed, Ellie and I have put together a workshop series to get you all to understand the structure of building your writing project. And Ellie, I'm gonna have you share. It's on the website. When you go sign up for the Writer Salon, you should see the series set up there. You could sign up for all four classes, or you could do it individually. But Ellie, I will leave the workshop to you so you could do your thing y hablamos luego.
Okay. Okay, thank you for being here. I know spring break is coming, so everybody is in that mood, but it's good that we are still here. So I'm gonna share today's session so we can start. Okay, one moment. Can you see the Yes? Okay, perfect. So today we will talk about sensory doorway to storytelling. And for me, this is one of the most important topics because senses for writers are like our tools. Like in every other field, like you have tools to work. But with us, we have our senses. So we need to connect in a deeper way so the reader can sense what we are writing and it's not only something abstract or a description, it's something other person can feel as well and can go through that uh, experience, right? So for me, the senses are like the way we experience the world through our bodies. Okay, so it's like perception comes before thoughts, before language, or before meaning. Like before any experience, we already have a perception because of past experience that we had. And based on that, we can go through that emotion, we can go through that situation, and as well as the character. So it's important to know that readers don't connect with ideas like this abstract concept of love, of anger, like those concepts. We need to feel that inside so the reader can as well. So if you talked about love in a theoretical way, people won't connect. But if you said like love is like touching my hands, then maybe someone can get through that sensation or that emotion. Like that helps more to connect with the reader. So they connect with experience. That's why when we are writing, we are not like only telling, but we show through action what the character is going through. And those details is what make the scene feel real, alive, and emotional. And also, we have talked about this in past sessions. Like when you have these specific details, you can make it even better because it's not just love in a way everybody feels that, but it's the way I perceive love, the way I feel love. And in that way, the reader can get in through that universe that I have. So they allow the reader to enter the story instead of just understanding and like another concept. No, it's just maybe I don't understand what's happening there, but I'm feeling something through this scene, through this character situation. So these are why senses are very important in our writing. So again, writing is not so much about describing reality because sometimes reality is too much and sometimes it's just boring. So if we don't use our imagination in order to attract that reader, then we miss the opportunity. So it's about translating experience that you can feel. If you don't feel something with my work, even though it could be like the best structure, the best paragraph, the best words around, but if I don't feel nothing from that, there's a problem. So, as writers, we take something internal, like a feeling, a memory, a perception, and we convert it into something external through senses, through using our body, through using smells in a room, through what we see. Like we talked about this before again, like when I enter a room, what I see first. Like everyone goes to a different point, and that's what's important. Like what I see, why I see this specific object, and how I connect with this specific object. You remember that I talked about, for example, this earring that is not just an earring, like this is the last thing I have from my grandma. So this has like a sentimental value for the character. And in that way, we can get into that story because it's not just an object, a random object. When I see this, I feel something. My senses wake up. Maybe I feel it in my body, in my chest. Maybe I want to cry because this object brings something to the memory of the character. Okay, so again, instead of saying she was sad, we can ask ourselves, like, what does sadness look like for the character? How is the sound of this sadness? Feel in the body. And in that way, we can create something that actually provokes emotion in the reader. So I like to use this image like, again, we feel before we think, and that feeling is based on past experience. And that's our perception of the world, the way I see the world. Everyone has a different perception. Like, no matter how you bring something, other person is going to take one side and other person will take other side. And I want to clarify this before we start with the exercises. And also this happened with emotion, like we already have a meaning for that. Like I said with the earrings, like this for me has an special meaning. But that doesn't mean that when Kim look at this, she doesn't have to go to that place. She will go to other place. And from that creation brings a transformation for the reader because based on all these elements that you put on the story, you can have a transformation, but this transformation is based on your past experience and on your identity. This is like what shapes the story that you are reading. And also all about sensory details that we can bring to the room, like inside, and we can immerse in that story. And that's like the character perspective. Like we see through the character because this is the protagonist and we are going through that journey or that transformation. Okay? Let me see. I see something in the chat. Okay. Don't worry. So again, it's like sensation creates feeling, brings an image for the reader, and that is like a language that we already have of connection in the story. I'm trying to understand your language based on these elements that you are putting there. Okay? So we are going to do these exercises with every sense. And with every sense, we will explore, of course, different things. Like with sight, we can explore color and emotions, light and shadow, movements. With sound, we can explore volume, rhythm, repetition of sounds, the tone of the voice. Like if a character talks in a certain way, like that provokes something in the reader's mind as well, based on the elements that you're putting. The smells, like the smell brings memory, familiar things, pleasant and unpleasant feelings through that sensations. The taste, like sweet, bitter, the intensity of a flavor, and how can it translate into a story. And also the texture and the touch, like the texture, the movement of the skin, the internal sensations. So we will do some exercises. Now, let me put the timer. Well, I don't know if you have any questions before we start. No, you're good? One moment. Mhm. Okay, let me see. Okay, perfect. So we will start with this first exercise, and this is using the side. You will imagine you are sitting in front of a person who has been blind since birth and has never seen colors. Okay? So you will choose three, or you can focus on one, different colors and describe them in a way that this person can understand and feel. You might use comparisons, textures, emotions, sensory associations to build that for this person. Avoid naming objects, focus on translating the experience of the color. So, for example, yellow feels like a hug of my mother. That's something this person had experienced, even if this person had never seen the face of his mother. Okay? I want to see what you bring your creativity here. We will have 10 minutes for this. Yeah. Okay, because before we go to the next exercise, I want to see what happened with this exercise because I think it could be a little bit challenging, but also interesting. Just comments around that because we will share at the end. But what happened? Was it hard to translate this for this person? I want to listen some of your thoughts around that.
Um, yeah, I mean, for me, it wasn't hard to describe it. It was more difficult to. So it was just so many things that you can describe that for me it was just difficult to pick like one or two or three. Um, so yeah, it
And
was like just like a lot of elements that could describe one color and just
okay,
putting those dots together.
in which sense you think you use more for the description?
The sense of the hearing for one reason, but I did use all of them. But the first one that came to my mind was the sense of the hearing.
Okay, thank you, Kim. Someone else that want to share what happened in this process while you were writing and coming up with these ideas? This is important, the creative process of each of you, because that helps me and gives me information so how I can continue. Natasha, for example, don't be shy.
Sorry, I was late, so I don't know if I got all the instructions. Um, I didn't find it hard either. I tried to use experiences to describe the colors. Similar to like I didn't use a hug, but similar to your example, like this is if you felt this, this is what this color is.
Okay, okay, amazing. Yes, yes. Okay, we will continue. I hope you open up and talk more so we can share. Also, for me, the creative process is as important as the exercise because what happens when I'm writing is what can help me to go one way to the other. Okay, so we will continue to the next exercise. So, in the next exercise, this is based on the smell, and we are working with the memory. So you will write an a scene that begins with a smell. Let that smell unlock a memory or moment from the character's past, but don't explain it directly. It's like Larry immerse slowly through these sensations that the reader can follow, like this journey. So the character doesn't fully understand why the smells affect them so deeply, and there is something unresolved there. Like sometimes you can smell something and some is happening something in your body. You don't know why, and then comes the memory. So try to go to this journey with the character. That it can feel uncomfortable, it can feel comfortable, like play around those sensations through the smell like a perfume or a fruit or a food and what's happening with the character. Oh, that remind me of the last time I saw my father. But at first I wasn't understanding what was happening with me as I remember that. Okay? So play with that. Let me put the timer. Take your time because these exercises require concentration to really get into the situation so other people can feel that too. Okay? Okay, I also love this exercise because, of course, brings creativity to the room, but also let us know how important are those elements that we said in the story and actually how our body reacts to certain things like I said, like the smell, our body reacts instantly, and then based on these feelings, this sensation, we can uncover like where this comes from. Like, and this is exactly what happens in this scene. So we can play with that around a specific important scenes that we want to set the character in an emotional state. We can use that. We can put all the senses around that scene so we can build something really interesting for the reader instead of just being putting everything around in every scene. Pick certain specific key scenes and you do this, and that's like other level with your writing. So the next exercise is about texture and emotion. And I want you to write about a moment of emotional intensity. You can pick the emotion like joy, anger, fear, but express it only through texture and physical sensation. Do not name the emotion directly. You remember we did a similar exercise before. Just let the reader feel it through the body of the character. So you can present it in a way, for example, the character is trying to stay in control, but their body is revealing what they are really feeling. So suddenly he feels hot or he's trembling or his throat is dry. We can feel all that with the character. So there is a tension between what they want too high and what is physically happening. You can set it in that way, or you can come up with your own way of doing it. Okay, you can explore texture like raw, soft, sticky, sharp, temperature, pressure, micro sensations with that. Okay, so play. I want you to play a lot with these exercises because that's the way you will find something amazing. Okay, so this exercise remind me of an experience that I had in Turkey last year, and we were in a store of fabrics, and this seller was there, and instead of like talking about the quality or the prices, he invited us to touch the fabrics, and as we were touching these fabrics, he was like storytelling with the sensations. And at the end, a lot of people bought a lot of things, and I thought like, wow, this was because the way he did this, like he didn't do it in a normal way. He used the experience, so we enter into this reality with him, and it's the same for writing. It's about giving that opportunity for the reader to get into that world and to experience what you are building there. Okay, so that for me was like very interesting the way he act there. So we have one more exercise, and it's about taste. So I want you to think of a food you deeply love or strongly dislike. And you take a few minutes first to fully enter the sensation it creates in your body, how it feels on your palate and spreads, and how your body reacts to it. And now I want you to use those sensations, emotions, or physical reactions to write a scene. Okay? The scene is not, it doesn't have to be about the food itself. You can use that emotion to create that. So you can take some minutes to get that, and then you start writing based on that information. Okay, so how the taste move through the story, the emotional reaction it triggers, the contrast between pleasure and discomfort. You can play in many ways, but basically it's like taking that to create something. Okay, so first try to be in your body, and then like go to the page. Okay. You will have some extra minutes because I forgot to put the timer, and then we will start sharing the work. Okay? I also like this exercise because can get you in a certain state, and that because sometimes people, oh, if you write sad songs, then you need to be sad or be heartbreak broken. And no, it's important to know that you have tools to get to a certain state and to see what comes from there. Like maybe you are in this state from this food, but something else comes. So it's a good exercise to explore yourself and how you translate emotions and feelings, and then it can become a great story or not. It was just something to explore and to have fun and to know more about yourself. Like these creative exercises help you with this. So sorry, we have one last one and then we start sharing. So the last one is, oh, no, no. This will take, I rather to listen to you. This will take more. So okay. First, if you have questions or comments, you can share, and then we can share some fragments of what was happening.
So we start sharing?
First, I want to, yeah, first, not the text. I want to know what happened with the exercise, which exercise you like, which exercise was challenging. If you have any questions, first that, and then we start sharing.
All the process. Oh. It was really interesting. I found myself going further and further within, and I end up with a meditation, me standing in the central market with the air and fire and water and earth.
Wow, I love it,
Yes.
Rosita. And which exercise get you there, or it was just the whole process?
Right. The more emotions and the more textures you were asking for, the more I was able to go in and in and in and ask myself, how did it feel? What was around me? What was I hearing? I finally got to the hearing. You didn't get to the hearing, but I did.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing. I
It
love
was
it.
just great. Just opened up a whole big gate of emotions and colors and flavors. And oh, it was just great.
Thank you, Rosita. King, you were gonna say something?
Yeah, for me, the last one was difficult. I don't know why. So yeah,
Okay.
maybe
What
something to
happened?
work more. I wasn't sure if I had to say the food that I was eating or drinking. I yeah,
Not
I think
necessarily. Not necessarily.
oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. It was just like I because I wasn't sure if I have to describe that. So when I wanted to write the name, I was like, wait a minute, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to do this. So yeah, it was confusing. So
I
next
mean,
time I'll ask you first, like, can I?
yeah, I mean, you have freedom because those are creative exercise. It doesn't have to be like in a specific way, but it's like to play. Maybe you do it in this way. Maybe other thing comes up, so you can like be open to that in this type of exercises. Let me see someone comment in the chat. I like the structure of the worksheet today. The first one was tough for me, or the second was okay, amazing. Yes, for me, I don't know. You were like, oh, this was so easy, but for me, that's a hard one. Try to describe these colors for someone who cannot see, who had never, doesn't know, like, this is blue. No, I don't. And how I make a difference between each color. And also, what, we have like the collective thing, like, oh, blue means da da da, but maybe for you, blue means another thing. So it would change the perception of the person in so many ways. Hmm. It made me think that blacks is the accent. Oh, that's great. That's a beautiful reflection. Thank you, Leslie. Carmen?
Hi. Um, Thank you for this because it was interesting to really try to dig into and get a little bit deeper into how all the senses kind of work together, right? and making one sense more pronounced than another, if that makes any sense. Like the first one, I agree with Leslie. The first one was really, really hard because I couldn't figure out how to write something that didn't sound generic, right? Something that was a little bit deeper, that gave the sensation of what I was trying to, gave some sort of sensation, right? Describing that color and how it might feel like for someone who is visually impaired. What I discovered too was that some senses or some prompts were I was more excited about. Um, and I started going off into different kind of avenues, right? So I started in one place which felt safe, and then all of a sudden I started writing something else, which then led me somewhere else. So that was really interesting to discover, I guess, or go through the process. So thank you.
Wow, thank you. I love that. And that's what needs to happen with these exercises, that you allow whatever needs to happen happens. And then maybe you have three stories in one, but you will take out what's best for you and you keep working on
Yeah.
that. So there is nothing right or wrong, good or bad. It's just exploration. And I'm
Yeah,
happy
the
you allow
exploration.
that.
I don't know if any of it makes sense, right? If I look back at it, I'm gonna look at it, I'm like, I don't know if this makes sense. But the exploration was really cool. So thank you so much for that.
Amazing. Amber?
Hi, yeah, this was great. And I agree with folks who also, or I had a similar experience where the first exercise, and I know I had come in late, but the first exercise was tough because I don't usually think of myself as someone who's like such a visual thinker. But then when it came to something that was so visual, like color, I realized how much I rely on that kind of particular sense. I thought I was more like, auditory and otherwise, but and then also like for instance with the food exercise and other and I realized like how much of stream of consciousness comes in because then you're relying on like certain associations you have with memories. And then sometimes I was wondering like, oh, maybe that can be a thread of something, how that reminded me of yeah, whatever it was. So I also agree that like maybe the scene itself that we created might sometimes not be something that we want to further explore, but maybe like one little thread of the web, kind of.
Totally. Thank you, Amber. And like you said, it helps you realize, like you said, or I'm not such a visual person, or I am more like a smell person or a texture. Like it helps you like, okay, these are my senses that are well developed, and these I need to develop more. So it gives you like conscious about that. And like you say, maybe this work, maybe it doesn't work, but you already had something that you will use forever in your writing. Okay. So I want us to share the first exercises because I want to see how your colors feel in the expression. Okay. So who wants to start sharing?
Okay, I can share.
Okay. Let's all
So
listen and try to
you
feel.
you said the first one with the colors, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna pick two because I did three or one. I'm just gonna pick one, so
Okay.
people can have
Don't
time to
tell
think.
us the color.
Oh, okay. Well,
We will
okay.
guess. Okay.
It's the breeze of the ocean, imagining you are sitting in front of it, and the breeze touches your shoulders and face. Then the waves come to your feet and legs, and you can feel the color. Fresh in the warm water, cool in the body. And with that, calmness comes and stays with you.
What color do you think it is? Mm. Let me see. Blue.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Very.
But it was great because you pick like the ocean and the movement and like it bring me calm. So yes, blue is related to calm. So I think it can bring someone like this calm around that. For continue exploring, maybe you can have like uh, try to get out of the conventional to see also what happened, but you can take those conventional things and also get some others to see what gets. But I think it was very interesting. Thank you, Kim. Someone else. Natasha,
I
you
could,
want to
oh,
go? Oh,
I could go.
Leslie.
Yeah. You can find it on different people when their skin is harmed by accident, by an accident. It's the color of fruit and flowers that grow on the grass.
Okay, what color is this? Green? Some say green. What else? Chase of brown? I think it's brown too. Leslie, what is it? Purple. I love.
It's purple. Because I don't know if I said it clearly, but I said something like, the, you could find it on different people when their skin is harmed.
It's
Harmed.
true. It's true.
Yeah.
But it was great. I love it that you use something not conventional to describe the purple, like the first sentence. So I love it. Maybe to keep it longer, just to get the person into that, because maybe we can think one color than the other, but if we have more information, we can get that. Okay? Okay. Another person?
I can go. Mine has the names of the colors, so apologies. Are you familiar with the feeling of being outside, sitting on a bench in the park where you can hear people having a picnic, kids playing, and dogs barking at one another? The sounds of birds chirping to one another. The calm delight that accompanies the feeling is the color of the sky. When the temperature is just perfect and the sun is hitting your skin but not making you too hot, when it's just right outside, and it's just right because the weather has brought you and all your neighbors outside, and the feeling we all share is tepid delight.
Wow, that was beautiful, Natasha. Also have a lot of poetry and rhythm in the that also creates a sensation. So what color do you think
Mm.
it was? Let me see. Green, some say green, others
Green, yeah.
green. Oh my God. Yellow. I think could be blue as well. It
Yeah,
was
it was
what
sky
was
blue. Mm-hmm.
okay. You see, this is interesting how we can get to many places and from our perception, what we talked about first. Okay. Rosita, do you want to share?
Was that for me?
Or you? Yes, Patty or
No, no, I don't think I was not able to write for this one. I was attending something, so I'll join in the next
okay.
one.
I wasn't here yet. I arrived in.
Okay. Amber or Carmen?
I also joined late.
Okay. Okay. Well, then thank you for being here. I mean, I really enjoy. I hope you keep exploring. I'm gonna send it those exercises so you can continue working on. It's like doing one time and then other time and see what happens. Especially with the colors, like I think you can find a lot of information.
Ellie, is it
Yes?
possible to see I know we didn't have time for the sound prompts, but is it possible to put it on the screen just so if we can work on it ourselves?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Sure.
cool. Thank you.
Let me show you. Okay, the exercise was like I was gonna put a music or I was gonna send you the link so you would put on your headphones and while you were listening to this music, you were going to write. But as the music is going, you were going to write, and let everything go. Even if that doesn't make sense, like just giving that opportunity to let the music bring whatever to the writing. So that was the final exercise, yes. But still, I'm gonna send you so you can play with that. Okay?
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, yeah. So like Angie said, we have created another workshop, and this is more focused on getting your story like better, like from the idea to the final draft of your short story or memoir or writing. In that, we specifically talked about tools and everything. Here, as you know, we only explore. Like I give you positive insights and also things to think and to keep working on, because we don't have time here just to go deeper. I don't know your intention. So in that workshop, we will work like deeper. Okay. She sent the information. I think no, no, I haven't started. I will set her to send you the information again. Okay? Okay, so thank you. Have an amazing Sunday. And I'm going to send you the prompts so you can keep playing around.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you,
Have a good
Ellie.
night, everyone.
Thank you.